fuck, the game isn't finished. I forgot. So we do be outside the coffin now. Like, sub, comment, all that, or the demon will farm me. For real, for real. Chapter 3. The story of episode 2. So, after a little murder spree and escape from inside the coffin, we got out and we start a new chapter, literally. This is episode 2. The graves. Hey, that's our characters' surnames and where coffins go. We start episode 2 with our characters sitting outside and we're broke. This is what happens when you need to feed Ashley every day. No wonder their parents Shh! That's a spoiler. I mean, abandon them. In the coffin. That's the name of the guy. We are looking for job applications and news of our escape. No new news now. We get up and get out. And we go home because Ashley forgot the damn gun. Devil spawn. New drink flavors. I wanted to try my kidneys too. We go home and we do the laundry. We get in front of the TV to piss off Andrew, like the common wife, and we retrieve our gun. TV time. Ashley calls my gay savior Andy, and he gets pissed. Her bad faith flirting is read as what it actually is, manipulation. By the way, the building burned down, and everyone is dead, including us! Yay! Wait, what? We go to sleep and we dream of someone murdering Devil Spawn and Angel Spawn. Now, I'd normally let that slide, but because Andrew is also murked while sleeping in front of the TV, we need to act. We wake up Sleeping Beauty and get into the streets next to our motel. And we wait, and we wait, and we wait. Oh look, a funny looking man with a hood. I can't believe it. We are going to control Andrew. Let's go! Okay, we followed the funny looking man and we discovered the cult from the guy next door in the apartment. So we try to get in by putting the devil's number 466 and we are in. But the guards don't let us enter because we don't have the correct drip. I disagree, but sure. So we enter through the back rooms and watch the pretty bad summoning session that feels like one of those TikTok prank montages to kill insert politician. My sister did it for the first time. I also did it, Andrew. It was an accident, unfortunately, and now I'm stuck in the basement for half of the day. Someone ate one of the cupcakes. Oh no! Anyway, we are discovered and walk out the front door like shads, unfortunately returning to Devil Spawn and report our findings. The hitman eventually appears to kill us and we enter our motel room because Devil Spawn wants her one good bra. She makes us go back to the room and get it. Bra. We go back to get our bra and yes, if you open the closet he will kill you. After this, we bait the hitman into the park and play hide and seek by Ashley faking that she and Andrew are going to have sex. Incest goes up by a point, of course. When we find the killer in one of the bushes, we grab the gun and bang 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 bang! Hit that dog. After the fact, we decide to steal the hitman's car and drive off to our parents' new house in hope of reconnecting and going back to our old ways. Just kidding. We are going there to rob the place. Honestly, kind of based. And we discover the hitman was sent in by the company connected to the parasites that also makes the toxic drinks. I dwell on this info, but we are not getting more in here, or ever as of the time I'm making this video. Tough luck, see bow, whatever the cool kids say today. Eventually Ashley falls asleep and we wake up in one of the new additions to this chapter, the Demon Dream World. After wandering for a bit and placing some flowers to trample on, we find the demon. See, he actually wanted to talk with us about us using his gift to see the future, and Devil Spawn rushes the conversation by saying she will give him more souls, just so he can go back to give silent treatment to our angel Andrew. Well man, am I right? At least she is the ideal weight, so her score goes up from -100 to 99, just like my problems. Because a bitch isn't a problem when you have none. The devil finally let us go, and Spawn enters the correct door, Then I noticed I failed to get a flower and go back to an earlier save to go through the wrong door. To make things more interesting, and definitely not because I was pissed. After we finish the puzzle, in this room, the devil finds us and forces us to leave. That's a bit harsh. At least let Devil Spawn be closer to her home world. Maybe she's too white for it though, and will clog up all the other souls. We then trample over some flowers and wake up to the sight of our angel Andrew as he and Devil Spawn have reached the car park next to their parents' house. Andrew is happy about seeing Ashley wake up? Really? Well, I actually think it might be Stockholm Syndrome. From the heaviest human on earth falling on top of you and wanting it to get out. Andrew was so worried about us to the point he thought of taking Devil Spawn to the hospital and taking in American healthcare debt for a devil thing. Such a great person. Andrew and Ashley and the Home Sweet Home invasion. More like Andrew and Ashley and the Sweet Home Alabama, am I right, boys? Ha ha. Ha. After a bit of a walk, we find our parents' home at the end of the visible street. Because no one's home, we have to solve a puzzle in the backyard and go through the bathroom's window. I'm so good at puzzles, especially if they are backtracking. After the detour to rob our parents' home, Devil Spawn opens the door for Angel Andrew. Okay, Andrew, stop glazing Ashley, that's enough, please. She's already too round. Actually, there is something exceptional about this part. Devil Spawn shows remorse. I couldn't believe it myself, but she seems saddened about not telling Andrew that she is going to kill their parents. And we immediately discover people were asking for Andrew's books, because we were used for some old-fashioned insurance fraud, and were sold off also. Is this like the Little Prince adults, where everyone is cartoonishly empty, or is it just supposed to be funny and realistic? I would guess the second one. But hey, speaking of your parents falsely registering your death certificate, Dead Money. Dead Money is an all-purpose lawyer-based app that helps you get the spot promised to you 3000 years ago in your parents' will, or any other family or friends inheritance you have had or want a claim to. Oh shit, I might need this one. With over 150 AI lawyers of the most trusting kind, they will analyze your case and give you the most legal way of handling this issue, be it in court, police, or other means. With Dead Money, you can guarantee your fair share in any inheritance you have lost, especially if by fatal means. So sign up to the code VERLOON20 for 12.5% off a 2-year premium basic plan, which is only 50,000 Vietnamese dongs. Links in the search bar. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, stealing money. You don't wanna know what your parents have been up to on this bed. Hold up, is this the return of the fucking bed? Fucking bed to fucking boogaloo, now including the fucking closet. After discussing our parents' wealth and not putting our pictures in family furniture, we investigate the house and finally find the insurance fraud because I wanted to make a joke before finding the thing. Go figure. Then, Mom gets home and crashes the party. The robbing party, featuring Robin Hood, the Canadian show from 2023 about a gang or whatever. You guys remember it, don't it? Don't you guys have phones with Google on them? Whatever. Go figure, again. I guess she's not happy to see her dead son and Devil Spawn. We play Happy Family for a bit while we plan how to effectively rob them. Well, from Andrew's POV, from Ashley's POV, it's demon negotiation time. Ashley and Mom reenact the Savers Giga Chat meme, and we have some nice coffee time talking about not being dead. That's dirt cold for someone like Mom. We decide to make dinner for now to surprise Dad, probably who is coming home. We are finally controlling Andrew again, thank God. I missed being inside the skin of someone who is worthy. Now I just need to get inside him, or him inside me. You're stuck with an odd urge to pull this broody bitch into your arms. Don't do it, Andrew! Don't validate Devil Spawn, and you'll get pressed from her being too heavy. We get some stuff to cook from the garden. I love gardens. Everyone should have a garden. And have some chickens. I'm making my salad right now. We slice and dice everything and prepare an amazingly tasty stew for everyone in a radius of 10 meters. Or to just be devoured by Ashley, depending if the pan takes 10 liters or 1000 liters. Dad walks in and he says us hi. Probably surprised from us being alive. Also, is it weird to see two ghosts? I see them all the time ever since Demon Man took me in.
They are just my friend, Detective.
Sorry, Demon Man.
My name is Hellgate.
Shut up, Door Nether.
He
Let me
needs
do the
some
job you
milk.
gave me. After we finish dinner, Dad goes to bed and Mom tells us to clean up. And we bicker over our plan. I'd go in depth on this, but this is just Ashley pressuring Andrew over the fact we are playing Happy Family. Which leads to her calling him Andy again. Just murder the bitch, Andrew, please! After the fact they offer us shelter in different beds and on the couch, probably because Angel Andrew put his finger around Devil's Spawn Pants' belt thingy. Or, of course, they must have seen our last video on this game. Go watch it and rewatch it after this one. Like it and sub with your alt accounts so I can do this full time without living in a basement, but a nice apartment with a bedroom that is also a living room. And she started justifying it with age, space, blah 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 blah. Hey, she feels like my mom. Oh wait, wrong series. So, our characters agree and disagree, spending just the night in here, which is enough to steal from them. By the way, or offer them to the demon. We go to our sleeping spots and we enter Andrew's dream. Oh look, the neighbor is back and he needs his leg to move on, or something like that. I already digested it though. Well, time to go find it. We first get Leyley, who is surprisingly alive, and we need all the candles to light up the rooms. After we walk to Ashley, every time we walk a tile, we bleed instead of normal tiles appearing or flowers. You can infer the meaning, right? You're not that dumb, I hope. She tries to be a bitch about giving me the candles, and while I would love to kill her, I decide to ask nicely. She still said no. So, we light the other candles, and a new room is revealed, where we need to get to the room with the television to get a second candle. But after that, she asks for the crayons, which, after we light up a candle, reveals a room with a devil's spawn in the window, which is a representation of Julia's room, quite obviously. And the devil's spawn is there, representing you know who, a harassing woman. And we get a flashback of Julia asking Andrew to tell Devil's Spawn to give them some space, and Andrew trying to brush it aside. After we revealed the last candle, by giving Little Spawn the crayons, we discovered the last room, the coffin, metaphorically I guess, with all the people Andrew has killed and justifies his deeds, from which we steal the leg from one of those bodies after talking with Dream Ashley in the incest closet. The neighbor finally has his body whole with another person's part and is free to move on and stop influencing our Angel Andrew. He only needs one bad influence. But before we say goodbye, the box appears and Andrew reluctantly opens it. We are back to the warehouse as we discover the dead girl. We scramble to cover up our tracks. We roll her up in a sheet and dig up a grave in the park nearby. Cover it to the best of our abilities and wish that no one notices it. The first thing you notice is how calm Ashley is compared to how distressed Andrew is. But there is more. We see Andrew in his bed. It's inferred he's been feeling awful and barely going out as Ashley goes on life as usual. Andrew is not able to live with it until he asks Ashley to do a blood oath with him. He crosses her mouth and she crosses his eyes. We wake up in the real world as Ashley is on her knees in front of us, trying to wake us up. No no incest. Just kidding, Devil's Spawn starts kissing him after saying he's a marshmallow. The moment Mom sees us because she wanted to talk solo with Andrew. she thinks we are having sibling sex. So Devil Spawn decides to crack them and point the gun to Mom, and goes on with the robbery. Devil Spawn forces us to bring Mom and Dad to the basement and tie them up to the basement pole. As we pick up the rope from the fucking closet, Dad catches us, and Andrew just says that he wants to fuck himself. Dad just accepts it. Then we intercept the Dad as he is going to the basement, and he follows up with the "Weren't you supposed to be masturbating?" Perfect dialogue, 10 out of 10. After we tie them up, we ask for their moms. I wrote mom with U instead of O, so that's why it's different. Credit card. And Andrew goes to get the money while Ashley stays at home and prepares the demon ritual. When Andrew comes back, we discover the card has a limit and Mom has to call the bank. She tries to send the mixed signals to the woman, but we have already established how stupid everyone is in this universe, and we leave Andrew alone with the parents. Chapter 4. The Burial.
Why is it called incest if there isn't an outcest detective?
Because you're supposed to pull out, not feed in. Mom tries to convince Andrew of betraying Devil Spawn over the job and chance of a new life, and Andrew declines and confronts them. I say it was a bad choice, but it's pretty obvious Mom is not better than Ashley, by a bit. We can see it as how Andrew can't recollect basic things, according to their mom. Ashley eventually comes back and we invoke the demon, and he takes the soul of their parents. Andrew panics about the bodies and what will happen, so we have to dispose of our parents in a way that makes the evidence disappear. As we get close to the bodies, Andrew discovers they are still breathing, just motionless, which means everyone that has had their soul sucked was also still breathing, even if technically dead. We cut the parents up, and after a drain clog, which we solve, and start a funny fight over hair, we start disposing of their bodies, body part by body part. Ashley notices the lifeless expression of Andrew during this moment and starts growing a conscience, surprisingly. We first put the torsos in the fireplace, blend the organs, and finally, after that, Devil Spawn, being the fat ass as always, decides to cook their parents to satiate her ever-expanding body, which Andrew just goes along with. Eat dinner, and unlike last time, we have a nice talk over cannibalistic food, which reflects how corrupted Andrew is by now. We play as Andrew next, now as we collect the remaining bones and throw the teeth from the skulls and flush them down the toilet. As Ashley, we clean up the sacrifice circle and store the candles. We go to sleep in the fucking bed too, incest Boogaloo, with both holding the trinket the demon gave Ashley to see the future and know what's coming. Add some extra incest points, I guess. In the dream world, we grab a pink plushie that represents Ashley and a crayon to grab all the others, and through a few maps there, we collect them all and give them to the pink bunny. We then interact with the TV and enter a second room where Pink Rabbit is isolated from the others in a table. She can't be up on the table, so we put Pink and Green plushie in the isolated spot instead, as we enter the second screen where two bunnies representing Andrew's lovers stand, so we put one in the box, like in real life, and another in the trash, which is clearly what she would have done to Julia. After this, we put the mom and dad plushies in the big bowl. A cage in front of a moon appears as we stuff Andrew's bunny inside. We enter a new series of rooms where we start with a rabbit giving flowers to others. In the next room, we have to resolve the memories of Ashley over him, the dead kid, and herself. Sun route. If we choose Ashley to become heartbroken, we enter a room where we need to collect souls in a park-looking place. In the end, Andrew's soul appears and we wake up. As we get going, the skulls fall and we have to go back to pick them up. We throw them into the ocean, and as we close up this episode, Ashley notices a mole in Andrew's hand that shapes into one of the demon's eyes. Love root. We put a heart in between Ashley and Andrew instead, and we enter a room where we rewrite Ashley's memories by forcing Andrew into all of them, taking down Julia, that kid, and her mom, and replacing them all with Andrew. As a consequence, Ashley sees a future where she becomes the world of Andrew, and they are in an incestuous relationship. Both see this and react to the future prediction. The rest of the ending is the same. As for decay, we are going to address it when we talk about part 3. But in short, Andrew tries accepting the olive branch and starts showing resentment over Ashley. Chapter 5. The Analysis, aka the rest. The story is good. I'd say it's not as focused as the first one. The first half is a bit weak, but fun as it explores the world of Coffin and explores the questions related to the situation in the apartment. But it flatlines rather quickly over the fact it feels like a sideways expansion instead of deepening it, since we only know now that the demon guy was not a one-off weirdo and that the parasite's question is a part of a bigger conspiracy, but it's really poorly explored, besides the fact he also produced drinks, allegedly toxic, which, while cool, worries me, with reason, that we are never getting a payoff to the original setup besides some rushed ideas. The second half though, while more self-contained, is as good if not better as the first chapter. It shows continual degradation of Andrew that started in the first chapter, and the interactions with their parents is some of the best content that both justify and mirror the siblings' relationship. From start to end, the second half is way more sound and interesting than the first, sacrificing the overall story of this piece for a character exploration that follows through with the first chapter setup. What's left to talk about are the dream sequences and flashback. The dream sequences are a great way to look into the character's mind and expand the mythical side of the series, but besides the Ashley dreams in Burial, they either feel pointless or spoil the resolution, like in the decay route. It's a good addition, but it feels like it opens the potential to ideas Nemlei didn't prepare to address. The flashback scenes though are a great way to take us back into the events after the fact of the death of the kid, but it feeds one single problem that we are addressing next. Once again, the characters are great. There isn't much to extend for Andrew besides noting that he's slipping more into a nihilistic and numb person, but the new flashback over Andrew's deal with Ashley and his reaction to the death numbs the actual evolution of the character, because it makes us think this isn't new. This shouldn't be new to him. His reaction seems delayed, like a withheld memory that only surfaced now, but he also kept it in his mind. Besides this pet peeve over that flashback, his arc is pretty good, and it keeps up his evolution as main character. Ashley, on the other hand, is shown like she's growing a conscience, no doubt because Nemlei knew Big Verloon would call her Devil Spawn in the big year of 2026. But the heaviest of weight champions in this game, which seems to contradict the first chapter's image of Ashley, when she was the one who narrated the whole thing. So therefore we should like her more though. That I do think it's an interesting idea of both going into opposite lanes, but it makes Devil Spawn, my shabby beautiful muse that I hate, too sympathetic for a character that corrupted Andrew for most of the original episode. But in a way, it is a good evolution if handled correctly. For the new characters, they are mostly still one note, even if I feel like they are more dumber than selfish and aloof, like in the first game. But Mom is through as a mirror to Ashley, and I guess Dad as a mirror to Andrew. And we can see where she picked up some of her worst behaviors, the same way a kid picks up their parents' behavior, just pushed harder into a narcissistic extreme. Overall, I'd say this chapter story is slightly worse than the original. It's still pretty great, but some of the rot that I will stumble on in chapter 3 starts appearing here, and I will definitely address that way more when I get there. The gameplay has a good evolution. By adding puzzles, it takes advantage of the RPG Maker skeleton without fully turning it into an RPG. Even if most are so straightforward that it just really gives variety to what is basically an interactive visual novel. But it's still just an RPG Maker game, so it's about as good as the original chapter, just a bit more complex. The art and presentation in this episode is still great, probably even better than the original. I love it. And it's honestly amazing how the dream world looks like it belongs in this game, despite how mystical it is compared to the rest of it. Honestly, it's great that they removed the clouds from those flashback dream sequences, and went with the devilish ones, as it helps solidify the darker themes. One thing I didn't talk about in the first video is the music, but I love it, and it fits this game too well actually, and even real life, to the point I like playing it in my head when my life hits a situation that you would hear them in the game, like that one that goes dun 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 dun. The themes on this one are juicy, as we can infer childhood neglect, trauma, loss of innocence, societal and moral degradation, and inheriting of parents' issues. Chapter 2, theme-wise, is a buffet compared to the well-done steak of Chapter 1, if you go bit by bit. Most likely, most are not as developed as the toxic relationship and codependency of the first one, relying on Chapter 3 for qualifying certain parts of it. But overall, I commend the effort to explore the full extent of Coffin, even if the first half suffers as a result, over skipping to the parents section, and only deepening the relations themes, and not the corruption of the whole world, even if, in my opinion, it would be a way more interesting case to reverse the events, and let second half be of Andrew digesting the trauma of killing their own parents over cash, and 2 chances to see the future, even if you would have to invent a new device to make Ashley use the first premonition. Incest-wise, we are definitely pushing the envelope here, but it's still in acceptable territory. I've seen anime with much worse, and being frank, it completely complements the dark twists in this chapter, and what he tries to do, even if with mixed results. Although you can feel the barely scratched fetish in this one. Like me every time I call Ashley fat. Although I must say the story is self-aware that this is unhealthy, considering Andrew's and Mom's reaction to it, with only Ashley being the one to push it. As like we see in the second burial ending, she actively forces Andrew onto every scenario and memory. But this is where I can see some people less used to toxic relationships and incestuous one in common media would start having a problem. In conclusion, I'd say Chapter 2 is the right direction for this game, but it sets up a lot of downfall points in a lot of places by trying to keep the simplicity of the original chapter, in part understandable, since the character interactions is the best front of this game, but it does damage the plot that is building around it, that covers corruption, mysticism, and really interesting ideas that obviously play ball to the siblings' relationship. Not that I want it to take photos, but disregarding it creates this slow friction that will grind off the edge of this story if not addressed correctly, or if we go into FNAF territory and start introducing series-altering concepts over the halfway mark. Tune in for the next chapter of this case as we go for a more thorough look into the decay route and chapter 3, part A, of the Coffin of Andy and Leyley, the decay route, where I somehow validate all my worries and still have my favorite moment of this whole game. I'm Verloon, your demon paid detective, and this is Case Files, where we explore the world of weird, niche and dark games at the request of our demonic sponsor. Until next time. I want this to be my first 30-minute video, so let me meme a bit. So I actually think this chapter is actually an opinion. This chapter is like not as good as the first one. It's great, but as I will get over in the next part that I haven't recorded yet, there's a lot of things.
Fine,
in this
I
series
guess
that
you
starts
are my
going
little
badly.
pog champ.
And
Come
and
here.
if I have to criticize the next chapter already now, I want to talk shit about the part where Andrew sacrifices a child.
I was the kid.
I
was
will
writing games
rant
when I was,
probably
12,
on the video
whatever.
itself, but
And,
that's so stupid. That's
the other
such a
kids in the block
stupid
would say,
moment.
you know,
I hate it.
I'm gonna play quarterback for the
bye.
Cowboys, and I'd be like, I'm gonna make video games, and everyone's gonna play them. Like, you dork. Go back to the chess club. Who's laughing now? Yes, I was in the chess club.